The disruption we're feeling is spiritual before it's physical, like a tremor deep beneath the surface of an untouched mountain, long before the villagers ever see the rocks break or the ground split. It starts quietly, invisibly, in the unseen places of the soul, where God whispers warnings before the world hears echoes. You feel it in the stillness of the night, in the heaviness that settles over your chest, in the way familiar things suddenly feel unfamiliar. It's the kind of shift that makes you stop mid-step, wondering why the atmosphere feels charged with something you can't name. The signs aren't in the newspapers yet. They're in your spirit. A pressure, a stirring. A holy discomfort rises like a distant drumbeat announcing that things are changing, not to scare you, but to prepare you, to wake you before the noise begins, to remind you that every physical storm starts with a spiritual wind. You notice it when the routines that once felt safe now feel too small, too brittle, too shallow to hold the weight of who you're becoming. Life begins to feel like an old coat you've outgrown, tight in the shoulders and suffocating at the chest, urging you to step into something new before it tears apart. You start sensing a split between what you tolerate and what your spirit can no longer accept. Places that once felt comfortable now feel draining. Conversations that once entertained you now leave you empty, and people who once walked beside you now feel like distant silhouettes on a fading horizon. This isn't confusion, it's transition, a spiritual rearranging, a divine breaking of old patterns so new strength can rise. The disruption isn't coming to destroy your life, but to redirect it, to pull you out of cycles that were slowly suffocating your purpose. And somewhere inside you, even if you don't admit it out loud, you know God is behind this shaking. You feel Him removing the false peace you built on fragile foundations, replacing it with a restless desire for truth, clarity, and authenticity. The world around you may still look the same, but your spirit knows it's not. You sense a war in the atmosphere, a battle between who you were and who you're meant to become. You can feel the push and pull, the tearing away of old identities, the stripping of illusions you once clung to. This disruption is not the enemy's attack, it's God's intervention. He refuses to let you sleepwalk through life. He refuses to let you miss the destiny He planted inside you long before you understood what calling meant. The spiritual shaking is His way of saying, wake up, there is more for you than this. The physical signs come later. The doors that suddenly close without warning, the friendships that drift apart, the opportunities that crumble right when you thought you were ready, the unexpected detours that force you onto paths you never planned to walk. You may think these things are coincidences or bad luck, but they are the symptoms, not the cause, of the shift that began inside you. God always moves in the unseen. He disrupts the spirit before He rearranges the world around you. Like a sculptor breaking away unnecessary stone, He allows certain things to fall apart so the true shape of your purpose can finally emerge. What looks like loss is actually alignment. What feels like rejection is protection. What seems like confusion is preparation. Every physical change you're facing is the outward evidence of an inward awakening that began long before. So when you feel the ground trembling beneath your feet, don't assume you're falling apart. Assume you're being rebuilt. When life becomes too loud, too uncertain, too unpredictable, remember that storms only gather when the sky is preparing to clear. The disruption is not random. It's targeted, intentional, divine. You are being repositioned, recalibrated, and refined for what's coming next. God shakes what is unstable so that what is eternal can stand. He unsettles your spirit not to burden you, but to anchor you. He disrupts your peace not to harm you, but to give you His peace. The peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, the peace that survives the storm. Everything you're feeling, everything you're sensing, everything that seems off, it's the spiritual realm speaking first. It always does. And when the spirit shifts, the world must eventually follow. Truth is being fought because truth still has power, a quiet force that refuses to bow even in a world desperate to rewrite it. You feel it in the tension that crackles under conversations, in the way lies multiply like shadows in a dimly lit room trying to cover the light. The world resists it, lashes out at it, mocks it, because deep down, everyone knows that when truth speaks, it exposes everything it touches. It shines on what's hidden, illuminates what's corrupted, and shakes the comfortable illusions we cling to. Lies can feel strong, but truth is relentless, unyielding, and eternal. That's why it's fought. That's why there's pushback, ridicule, even persecution. Truth threatens the comfortable status quo. It disrupts the easy lies we tell ourselves. And yet it persists. Every heart that has ever been changed, every life that has ever been redeemed bears witness to its unstoppable power. You notice it when you try to speak honestly in a room full of compromise, and suddenly the room shifts. Conversations stiffen, eyes narrow, alliances tremble. The air itself seems to resist what you are saying, as though the walls themselves do not want to hear it. This is not your imagination. This is the spiritual weight of truth, clashing with the forces that profit from lies. Every time you stand for what is real, every time you refuse to compromise integrity for convenience, there is resistance. You feel it like a heavy wind pushing back against your steps, trying to knock you off balance. But this pushback is proof, not punishment. Proof that what you are standing on matters. Proof that the words you speak, the convictions you hold, the light you carry, these things are dangerous only because they are alive. Truth does not tiptoe, it charges, and the world reacts violently because it cannot contain its force. Truth's power is most evident in its subtle, relentless infiltration of lives. It does not scream to be noticed. It seeps into hearts, untangling lies with quiet persistence, like water cutting through stone over centuries. People can hide from it, ignore it, or even fight it, but eventually it reaches every corner. A whispered truth can topple a kingdom of deception. A simple act of integrity can expose decades of compromise. That's why the opposition is fierce. That's why lies are dressed up, rationalized, celebrated. Darkness recognizes the threat. It knows that one person standing firm in truth can spark a chain reaction that no falsehood can contain. And this is where courage is born, in the tension between what the world wants to hide and what the Spirit knows is real. Standing for truth is never easy, because truth always asks for risk, for confrontation, for vulnerability. But it is worth it, because nothing else has lasting power. When truth is challenged, it is an invitation to rise, to awaken, to step fully into the mantle of those who will not be silenced. Every attack, every accusation, every smear is a mirror showing how much your witness matters. The louder the opposition, the greater the confirmation that what you hold is vital. In moments when you feel alone, isolated, or misunderstood, remember, the pushback is not the absence of power, it is the evidence of it. Darkness always rallies against light. Lies always plot against clarity. But truth, once rooted in a heart and spoken boldly, cannot be contained. The moment you feel the pressure, the tension, the resistance, it is actually a signal that your voice is touching something eternal. The enemy fights what he fears, and the very fact that he fights you is proof that truth is alive, dangerous, and unstoppable. Truth transforms quietly, relentlessly, invisibly, shaping lives and destinies while the world struggles to contain it. It dismantles deception in relationships, exposes corruption in institutions, and brings clarity where confusion reigned. Those who fear it try to suppress it, to bury it, to rewrite history to suit their agendas, but truth is patient, unshakable, and inevitable. Every generation that has been touched by it carries a legacy of resilience, courage, and awakening. And now, in this moment, it is calling you to remember your part in its story, to speak it when it is unpopular, to live it when it is costly, to hold on to it when the world bends toward compromise. Truth is being fought not because it is weak, but because it is powerful. And its power is what will change everything, starting with you. God is exposing what was hidden to protect his people like a masterful gardener uprooting weeds before they strangle the life out of tender plants. At first it feels unsettling, like shadows creeping where you never expected them, like secrets tumbling out of closets you thought were locked. But this exposure is not punishment. It is protection. It is God's hand reaching into the corners of your life where compromise, deception, or hidden dangers have taken root. He knows what you cannot see. He knows what could hurt you if left untouched. That is why he is revealing it now, with precision, with timing, with a wisdom far beyond your own understanding. You may feel uncomfortable, even shaken. You may question the timing or the necessity, but in the quiet of your spirit, a truth resonates. He is uncovering darkness so you can step fully into light. He is removing what could destroy you before it ever has the chance. You notice it in moments that feel like sudden revelations, when people's true intentions become clear or situations unravel before you expected them to. The world often calls it coincidence, misfortune, or betrayal, but in the spiritual realm it is God's divine strategy. He is peeling back layers, exposing what has lingered beneath the surface so that your spirit can walk safely. The very things that once felt stable or comforting may collapse, not to harm you, but to guard you. He allows the hidden to surface so you can make choices with clarity, not ignorance. You may feel the discomfort of broken illusions, the sting of trust betrayed, or the shock of realizing what was true all along. But every tear shed, every sudden shift, every unsettling moment is a divine intervention. God is showing you what lies beneath so that you can avoid what could break you. There is a cinematic beauty in this exposure, if you choose to see it. Like dawn breaking through the darkness, it illuminates everything around you. You begin to see who truly walks with you and who walks for themselves. You begin to understand the subtle currents that guided your life without your awareness. The protection may not look comfortable, but it is meticulous, precise, and deeply loving. Even when it feels like chaos, it is calculated, designed to shield you from dangers your eyes could never detect. You feel the tension between what is lost and what is saved. You feel the anxiety of discovery, but also the relief of protection. God is orchestrating a divine reveal, not to shame, not to punish, but to preserve. Every hidden threat exposed is a step closer to security, to peace, to the fulfillment of the purpose he has planted within you. The exposure also calls for courage, because once what is hidden surfaces, you can no longer ignore it. Choices must be made, boundaries must be set, and faith must be acted upon. You may find yourself standing at crossroads where you must decide whom to trust, which paths to walk, and how to respond to betrayal or disappointment. The tension is palpable, like standing on the edge of a cliff with wind roaring in your ears. But the same hand that exposes danger is the hand that guides your steps. God does not leave you defenseless. He is both the revealer and the protector, the one who uncovers so you can walk forward without stumbling. You realize that the moments that once felt destabilizing are actually invitations to step deeper into alignment with his divine plan. Exposure, discomfort, and revelation are all tools of preservation. And in the quiet aftermath, when the dust settles and the light fully illuminates what was hidden, you begin to recognize the wisdom behind it all. You see the patterns of protection woven through your life. You understand that what seemed like chaos was actually divine choreography. You feel gratitude for the difficult revelations because they shielded you from harm you could not yet comprehend. Your faith is strengthened, your discernment sharpened, and your spirit emboldened. God's exposure of hidden things is not random or arbitrary. It is precise, intentional, and deeply personal. He is safeguarding your destiny, preparing your heart, and clearing the way for what he has planned. And as the truth stands revealed, you realize that what once threatened to destroy you has been transformed into the very thing that preserves and empowers you. Those who stay spiritually awake will not be caught off guard, like sentinels standing on the walls of a city while the world around them drifts into sleep. Their eyes are trained to see what others overlook, their ears tuned to the whispers of warning before the storm hits. Life may rush forward in chaos, uncertainty may rise like tidal waves, and darkness may attempt to mask itself in the ordinary. But those who are awake sense it first, and they feel the tremor in the spirit, the subtle shift in the unseen realm, the quiet disturbances that signal danger before it arrives. They are not naive, nor are they insulated from trials, but they carry a vigilance that becomes a shield. While the unprepared stumble, they stand ready. While the distracted are surprised, they are discerning. Spiritual awareness is their lamp in the night, their compass through uncertainty, and their lifeline when the unexpected knocks. Awake souls understand that vigilance is not fear, it is wisdom. They do not chase after every rumor or quake at every shadow. Instead, they cultivate